Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. This one's about Lil Durk and Pooh Shiesty, how they both sitting in the cell waiting. You know, waiting can break the strongest of men. I'm going to break it down to you from my lived experience after me serving 26 years in federal prison, 5 years, 80X Supermax, Lewisburg, Allenwood, Plum Park, Victorville, Atwater. I've been around. I even did time in Trenton State Prison, so I know what it's like to wait. I know what it's like to look at those lights in the ceiling and wondering when are you gonna get out of there. Let's get this party started. All right. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Keep it moving. Hit the hype button, hit the hype button, hit the hype button. Keep it moving. Hit the comments, hit the comments. Keep it moving, keep it moving. All right. Let me slow this down, man. We're going to start this off. We're going to break this down. I'm going to take you into a cell right now. This is Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk sitting in the cell. This is what it looks like to see two gangster rappers waiting. Now, like I said, waiting break the strongest of men. Imagine laying on a steel bunk, looking at the same ceiling, under the same light, waiting for someone else to decide the rest of your life. You don't control the clock. You don't control the door. You don't control the court date. You don't even control when your name gets called. And every time those keys start shaking, your body responds. Even when your face doesn't. Do you hear the officer coming down the tier? Step keys, step keys, step keys, and every man start listening. Nobody wants to look nervous. Everybody keeps playing cards, acting natural. Everybody keeps talking. Everybody keeps watching television, but nobody is really watching television. Because underneath all that noise, everybody's asking the same question. Is he coming for me? Is my lawyer downstairs? Did the judge rule? Did the government file something new? Did my court date move again? Did somebody make a deal? Who's snitching? Who's telling now? Oh, it got to be such and such. That's when your mind starts wandering. And when that officer walks past your cell and calls somebody else's name, you feel relief and disappointment at the same time. Relief because maybe it isn't bad news. Disappointment because you're still waiting. Then you lay back down, look at the ceiling again, and start the whole punishment over and over again. Lil Durk and Pooh Shiesty is facing serious federal allegations. They're both pleading not guilty. His guilty or innocence will be determined in court. But today, the deeper conversation isn't about pretending we know what's inside Lil Durk or Pooh Shiesty's head. The deeper conversation is about waiting for answers, waiting while the government builds a case, waiting while your lawyers fight, waiting while the world keeps moving. I served 26 years in federal prison, so I'm not speaking from a movie or a YouTube video. I'm not speaking from a headline. I'm speaking from the bunk, because I laid on that very bunk. And I'm telling you, a sentence can lock up your body, but uncertainty can start locking up your mind before the judge ever says a word, right? So here's the question. What happens to a man when every possible future starts playing inside his head? You running it back at the same time every night laying in that bunk. That's the real torture, so you understand. Now, the jewel in that, right? Sometimes the government doesn't begin with the verdict. Sometimes it begins the moment you lose control of tomorrow. Now, let's ride. When time stopped acting normal, that's what we're gonna talk about, right? On the street, 1 hour is an hour. Inside, 1 hour can feel like half a day, especially when you're waiting on something that can change your entire life. You wake up, but there's nowhere to go. You sit up, but there's nothing you can fix. Your lawyer might be working. Your family might be praying. Your supporters might be posting, but you're still on that bunk. That's where time starts playing tricks. You look at the clock. It's 9:15. You lay back down. You think. You replay. You worry in your mind. You look again. It's 9:22. 7 minutes pass, but inside your mind, you live 7 different lives with all your thoughts running wild. In one life, you beat the case. In another, you get convicted. In another, somebody testifies. In another, evidence gets excluded. In another, your lawyer walks in smiling. In another, he won't look you in the eye. That's the psychological cell. Your body is in one room, but your mind keeps traveling to every possible outcome. And the dangerous part is your imagination doesn't need evidence. Your imagination will prosecute you, defend you, convict you, release you, then arrest you all over again, all before lunchtime. That's why waiting can exhaust a man, even when he hasn't moved. People on the outside say, just stay positive. That sounds good, right? But staying positive isn't a button. Not when the indictment is real. Not when the penalties are serious. Not when your freedom is sitting inside somebody else's paperwork. You try and read, but you read the same page 4 times. You know this, like, I used to read cases or parts of my case, and I found myself reading that same little paragraph over and over. And I'm not even processing it, not thinking of it. It's like I'm memorizing it, and I'm not trying to memorize it. That's how your mind plays tricks on you when you fighting to get out of jail, when you got life plus 20 with no chance of parole. And by all means, you want to be free, but you're trapped physically. But mentally, you could go anywhere you want to go. Now, you even try and watch television, right? But you don't know what happened in the show. You know how many times I sat there watching the show and don't even know what the hell they talking about? Their mouth moving. I don't even see their mouth. I don't see nothing, but I'm staying straight at the TV. Then somebody asks me a question. I say, what? Because your ears heard them, but your mind was in court. And here's what nobody tells you. The loudest place in the prison can become completely silent when your future's on your mind. The unit could be yelling, dinosaurs slamming, televisions complaining, officers shouting, but all you hear is that one private question. How much of my life could they possibly take from me? Let's get to the jewel in that, Rob. Protect your freedom before you're forced to measure time by court dates and count times. Now, let's ride, Rob. We're gonna be riding all day today. I feel like going. It's gonna be a minute. So sit back, class, enjoy the ride. This is what it is. All right, y'all got your pens out. Make sure you put your comments and emojis, because if you don't put your comments and likes and all that and communicate, they're not gonna push the video, and that's the only way to get it pushed. I already got my little 100,000 joint, like I told you, so we already know I'm qualified. But now they're gonna change the standard up, and only you can help. Let's talk about the case that never leaves the cell. That's what we're gonna ride about. The case that never leaves the cell. A federal case doesn't stay inside the courtroom. It follows you back to the unit. It climbs into the bunk with you. It sits beside you on your food line. While you're waiting on your meal, your case is right there. You can't put it away because your life is inside it. Every new document matters, every filing matters, every delay matters, every conversation with counsel matters. And the government has resources, investigators, agents, and what the analysis, records, phones, messages, Witnesses, your defense team may be fighting hard, but from inside the cell, you can't see anything they're doing. That distance creates pressure because you have to trust people, because you have almost no control. Your attorney comes to see you, you study his face. Before he even sits down, you're looking at his shoulders, his eyes, his breathing, the way he opens the folder. You're trying to read the answer before he gives it to you. He says, "We filed a motion." You ask, "When will the judge decide?" He says, "We don't know yet." And there it is again, waiting. Your lawyer leaves, the door closes, visit is over, but the conversation keeps going inside your head. Did he sound confident? Was he holding something back? Why did he pause before answering? Why didn't he promise anything? That's what pressure does. It turns ordinary pauses into possible warnings. Now imagine the case changing. New allegations, new evidence claims, new motions, new legal arguments. The public sees a headline with more possibilities to calculate. That does not mean he's guilty. That does not mean he's innocent. It means serious litigation creates serious uncertainty, and uncertainty is heavy because it has no shape. You can't grab it, you can't fight it, you can't negotiate it. You just carry it with you wherever you go, from breakfast to lunch to count to lights out. But there's another punishment that people rarely discuss. The case doesn't only make you question the evidence, it makes you question everybody around you. Now, everybody's a potential rat bastard. And that's what's so crazy. Look how Pooh Shiesty's looking out, thinking of his next lick, some would say. Or thinking what's going on in the courtroom. Are they gonna call my name? Are they ever gonna come get me? And there's Lil Durk. Man, I gotta play chess on this one. How I wound up in this. I just knew I covered all my tracks. Might be a thought. Or maybe he's thinking, I ain't got nothing to do with this. How could they just lie and say anything about me and wind up getting me locked in a cell? These are the things that go through your mind while you're sitting in the cell, waiting and waiting. Now, the jewel in that, when your choices create legal exposure, you don't only ask or risk losing freedom, you risk losing the ability to trust even your own surrounding. Now, we riding. Remember that, right? We riding. Now, this is when everybody becomes a question. In a serious conspiracy case, trust becomes expensive. You start wondering who said what, who remembers what, who's staying solid, who's protecting themselves. Again, I'm not claiming anybody in Lil Durk's case or Pooh Shiesty case has done anything. Only they know who done what, other than the courts, and the lawyers already know as well. But Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk will be the last to know. I'm explaining the pressure. I'm just explaining what pressure is. That pressure that exists inside many cases with multiple defendants. Everybody has a lawyer, everybody has a family, everybody has something to lose, and everybody's lawyer has one primary responsibility: protect their own client. That means the man you trusted outside may be receiving advice inside from his lawyer to take the plea and flip. That you know nothing about. Now your mind starts going wild, right? It's doing cartwheels. Did somebody meet with prosecutors? Did somebody change their story? Did somebody remember something differently? Is somebody trying to go home? Is somebody scared? Is somebody blaming somebody else? You don't need proof for those questions to keep you awake. You only need uncertainty. This is where street code meets court code. On the street, people talk about loyalty like it's permanent. But in the federal building, loyalty is placed next to sentencing exposure. Loyalty is placed next to children, mothers, freedom, decades. And when a human being is scared, you may discover their survival instinct is stronger than the promise they made to you. That is not me encouraging corporation. That is me telling young people, stop building your future on what you believe somebody else would do under pressure. You don't know how another person will respond to fear. You don't know what they'll do when the prosecutor explains what their life could become. How much time they looking at? Decades. You don't know what they'll do when their mother starts crying, when their children ask, when are you coming home? I spent 26 years watching people discovering that the person that trusted someone the most was also trying to survive. And the deepest betrayal sometimes wasn't what another person did. The deepest betrayal was realizing you trusted another man with your freedom. Oof, that was deep. Never put your entire future inside somebody else's courage. When pressure arises, everybody finds out who they really are. Now we ride. Let's ride. Now here go the night shift inside your head, right? We're gonna talk about the night shift inside your head. Daytimes gives you distractions. I mean, they got child, they got movements, they got phone calls, they got other people. You know, night is different though. At night, the unit settles down, the conversations get lower, the lights change, the doors stay locked, and now there's nowhere left to hide from your mind. You lay there, looking into the darkness. You start replaying conversations, exact words, exact dates, exact places. You ask yourself, why did I say that? Why did I answer that call? Why did I trust that person? Why was I even around that situation when those questions apply? Depends on the individual case. But I watch countless men put their entire lives on replay. After the doors close and memory is dangerous under pressure. You can convince yourself you remember everything. Then 5 minutes later, you question the same memory. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Was he there? Did I call first? Did somebody text me? Now you're trying to construct your life from inside a concrete room. The government may have records, your lawyer may have discovery, but all you have at 2 a.m. is your memory and your fear. Then sleep finally comes, but it doesn't stay. You wake up suddenly. For a few seconds, you forgot where you were at. Then you see the wall. You hear the vent. You feel the thin mattress, and the whole case drops back into your chest. That moment is heavy because reality returns before your feet touch the ground. Some men start bargaining with life. God, get me through this, they say. Let me get another chance. Let me go home. They start promising what they'll never do again, who they'll never appreciate, who they'll change. But the hardest question is, why do we wait until freedom is threatened before we finally understand the value and call on God? The jewel in that rhyme. Don't wait for a locked door to teach you what an open door was worth. And we're gonna ride into the next joint, right? We're gonna ride into the next joint. Let me get into this, right? Let me get into this. The courtroom, where every word has weight. Then the court date finally comes. You wake up early. Maybe you barely slept that night, because it's hard to sleep at night when you go to court in the morning. The officers call your name, you get dressed, you prepare to move. The restraints go on. I'm talking about the handcuffs, the belly chain, the shackles. mental, your mind going crazy as you feel that metal go around your wrists, metal around your waist, metal around your ankles. Now you're walking, but you're not moving freely. You're moving like a duck waddling, trying to walk with these chains holding your two ankles together. You're placed in a holding area, then another holding area, then transportation. Every door closes you go into for somebody else to control your movement. If this is what you want, young people, when you enter the courtroom, the temperature feels different. The room may be quiet, but the pressure is loud. You see the judge, the prosecutor, your lawyers, court staff, maybe even your family, maybe reporters. But the face you study most is the judges. You're trying to read something that may not be readable. Is he irritated, you wondering? Is he even listening? Has he already formed an opinion? Did our argument land right on him? Your mouth gets dry. Your hands are restrained. You can't even wipe your mouth. Your lawyer's speaking. But every legal word feels personal. Motion, evidence, discovery, continuance, severance, granted, denied. People outside hear legal vocabulary. The defendant hears freedom or more waiting. One word can change the temperature inside your entire body. Granted, your chest loosens. Whew. When they say denied, you feel the room get smaller and you can't breathe. When they say continued, that means you get another chance to return to uncertainty. Sometimes nobody wins the day. Nothing ends. Nothing gets resolved. You came to court looking for an answer and leave with another date. That's when you realize court appearance doesn't always move you forward. Sometimes it only extends the hallway you're already trapped inside. One decision can take seconds, but the legal consequences can unfold for years. Now, y'all like the ride? Put in the comments you like the ride. Give me an emoji, give me something, keep it going to keep it moving. But until then, I'm gonna let y'all hear a little flavor. Relax. Now we're taking a ride back to the cell. Now court is over. You're placed back in the transport vehicle. Through a small window, you may catch pieces of normal life. A man pumping gas, a woman pushing a stroller, construction workers eating lunch, somebody laughing at the bus stop. Ordinary moments, but from the inside of that vehicle, ordinary life looks like wealth. People are irritated about traffic. You would give anything to sit in traffic. Somebody's rushing home. You're wondering when you'll see home again. A child is playing, a couple is arguing. A delivery driver is checking his phone. They don't know somebody's watching them through reinforced glass, missing every freedom. They barely notice. Then the evidence and the vehicle turns. The vehicle turning now. The facility comes back into view. The fences, the barbed wire, the concrete, the towers, the gates. One gate opens, the vehicle enters. That gate closes, another gate opens. And that sound reminds you, court is finished, but nothing is over. You go through processing, back through the doors, back into your unit. Another man looks at you. Some ask, what happened? You might say nothing, because how do you explain that nothing happened? Can still feel devastating. You return to the same bunk, the same wall, the same ceiling. You went outside, but you never touched freedom. And now the next date becomes the new object. Your whole mind circles around. But when you return from court, that's one place everybody wants to go, the telephone, because legal pressure makes you reach for the people you believe still belong to you. That's when you call home to your mom, to your girl, to your everybody. Look how these men is sitting in the cell. I don't want you young brothers and sisters to be sitting in the cell like this, so don't say I didn't tell you. I'm warning you. Freedom is often invisible until you're focused or forced to watch other people live it. Now you watching Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk live through it. It's riding to the phone call that tells you who remained. At the beginning of the case, the phones feel full. Everybody answers. Everybody has encouragement. Everybody says, I got you. We're gonna fight this. Anything you need, just let me know. I'm not going anywhere. The first few weeks, everybody's emotionally involved, but jail time moves differently for the person inside and the person outside. Inside, you may feel like life stopped. Outside, life keeps demanding attention. Rent is due, children need help, people go to work, relationships change, emergencies happen, weeks turn into months, months can become years, and gradually the phone starts teaching you the truth. Calls that were answered immediately start going unanswered into voicemail. Messages become shorter, letters slow down, money stops coming. People who said anytime start saying, I've been busy. Call me anytime. I've been calling you. I've been busy. Maybe they're not evil. Maybe life became heavy, but the result feels the same to the person waiting inside. Every unanswered call can feel like abandonment. Put it in the comments if you've been there, if you know what that feels like when you call home and no one answers. So the people listening and have people calling from the inside know that answer that phone. Then the circle gets smaller. Maybe your mother remains, maybe your sister, a brother, a childhood friend, maybe one woman who loved you before the success. And that's when some men start understanding the difference between attention and love. The woman who loved the access, they may not love the waiting part. Female you giving everything to, she ain't feeling that trying to wait. Now, the woman who loved the image may not love to collect calls. The woman who loved the celebration, going to parties and concerts every night and plays, may disappear during the preparation. Then you remember the woman who cared about you before anybody cared about your name. The woman you ignored, the woman you took for granted, the woman you considered boring because she brought peace instead of excitement and chaos. Sometimes prison teaches a man, he crashes the woman. Or should I say, he chases the woman who wanted the lifestyle while neglecting the woman who loved the man. But by the time he understands that, she may have finally learned to live without him. Attention celebrates what you have. Love remains concerned about who you are. Learn the difference before pressure teaches it to you. Now, the family serves a sentence too. We're gonna talk about how the family serves a sentence. Now, people say he caught a case, but the family catches part of that too. A mother wakes up worried A child grows up confused. A partner becomes emotionally exhausted. They don't sleep on the steel bunk, but they carry the anxiety home. They answer questions. They hear rumors. They see headlines. They defend you. They worry about you. They may have to travel to court, pay for phone calls, send money, talk to lawyers, and sometimes they don't even understand the legal process. They only understand somebody they love might not come home. A defendant waits for court. A mother waits for a phone call. A child waits for a visit. A woman waits for certainty. Everybody's watching, but everybody's waiting from a different cell. To lose years with family, my daughter was 18 months when I went away. She was 28 when I came home. Think about that. I didn't just serve 26 years. I missed stages of life that never repeated themselves. Birthdays came once, graduations came once. You cannot appeal that. To get those moments returned. That's why I speak hard to the young people listening. The streets would tell you your choices only belong to you. That's a lie. Your choices can enter your mother's house, your child's school, your partner's nervous system. Your decision can become somebody else's lifelong memory. And here's the part most people miss. Even when the family stays loyal, the relationship can still change. Because time doesn't only separate bodies, time changes people as well. The jewel in that, before making a dangerous decision, count every person who may be forced to pay for it with you. Now, when the world keeps moving without you, that's what we're gonna talk about now, right? While you're waiting, the world doesn't pause. Music changes, technology changes, neighborhoods change, children grow, parents get older, friends move on, business rise and fall, relationships begin, relationships fail. And you're receiving pieces of life through a telephone, a letter, visits, or a television screen. That's the strange feeling because you're still alive, but your life is happening somewhere else. People may post your name, play your music, wear your image, argue about your case, but when the unit locks down, the public conversation doesn't open your door. Fame cannot make the mattress thicker. Money cannot make count time disappear. Followers cannot sit in your cell at 3 a.m. when you're left with your thoughts or your nightmares. That's why prison strips away illusion. Outside, a man may believe his status controls every room. Inside, the door doesn't care about the status. The schedule doesn't care about the fame. The restraints don't care about streams. You move when they say move. Stop when they say stop. Return when they say return. That loss of control can be harder for somebody that had it all, who once controlled everything. Everybody knew your name. Now your name is called for movement, for mail, for court. Outside, your name meant access. Inside, your name means stand by the door. And this is not about celebrating anybody's downfall. I don't celebrate cages. I don't celebrate families hurting. I don't celebrate men losing years. I use these situations to show the young people where certain roads can lead, because the image of power and the reality of confinement are two completely different things. The streets may make a man feel uncomfortable. Federal custody reminds him every human being can be reached. Popularity may control attention. It does not control consequences. Now let's ride, right? The hardest conversation is with yourself. Eventually, the distractions run out. You can blame enemies, you can blame the system, you can blame friends, you can blame lawyers, blame circumstances. Some blame may be justified. Some systems are unfamiliar. Some evidence can be disputed. Some accusations can be wrong. But every man still reaches a moment where he has to speak honestly to himself. What choices brought me near this situation? What warnings did I ignore? What relationships increased my risk? What did I normalize that should never have felt normal? Accountability does not mean confessing to allegations you deny. Accountability means examining your life honestly without needing a jury to tell you where danger entered. That is a conversation everybody can have. Change or never changed. Famous or unknown. Young or old. Who's around you? What are they pulling towards? What behavior are you excusing? Because loyalty makes you uncomfortable with telling the truth. Now, are you leading people or are they dragging you? Are you making decisions or is your anger making them for you? Are you protecting your future or protecting an image? These questions matter because prison is full of men who protected their reputation and lost their actual life and their freedom. They didn't want to look weak, so they made a permanent decision to solve a temporary emotion. Pride spoke for 10 seconds. The sentence answered for 20 years. And waiting makes you replay the moment where another decision might have changed everything. That replay can become torture because hindsight gives you wisdom at the exact moment. You can't use it to change the past, but you can still use it to change who you become. That's where growth begins, not with excuses, not with performance, with truth. Now, accountability is not surrender. Accountability is taking back control from the version of you that created uncertainty in the first place. Now, we're gonna get into why waiting can feel worse than an answer. But first, I wanna show you why I do what I do, all right?
Hey, what's going on, man? Murder Mook, Harlem, you know what it is, man. I just wanted to stress how much gratitude I got for Unique, you know what I mean? I was telling him a story, telling him how I felt about, if anything was to go wrong with my career, rap-wise, if, should be slow, and I got so many opportunities to be able to do the wrong shit. When I watch Unique Mecca Audio, I feel it, and to my soul, and that's keeping me farthest away from doing anything criminal. Anything criminal. He made me think straight, honestly. Made me think straight, because I've been watching him for about a year, like a year now, and it just took my mind way off of that. From a year ago, it got rough. For a year ago,
Yeah.
and from watching this man, I just felt like you saved me. You saved me. And I just want to show my gratitude, and I want to say thank you, man. Unique Mecca Audio, anything you need, brother, from me.
All right.
Anything you need, man.
All right.
Call 'em.
I just want to give a shout out to Unique Mecca Audio. He is so dope. I had the experience of actually meeting him in person. I've been a fan for 2 years, watching his story and watching his videos on YouTube. He is the bomb.com. Harlem, legendary, kingpin, real, official. As soon as I sat down by him, I knew like it was like a different energy, a different vibe. But then once I hear his voice, I'm like, oh my God, is that him? I'm all fanned out. Like, you know, it was such an experience getting the chance to meet him and, you know, being a fan of his YouTube channel and just following him for the last 2 years and knowing his story and seeing his interviews. And I support him 1000%. And I'm subscribed to his YouTube. You should go and subscribe as well. Amazing. I'm like, oh my God, is that him? I'm all fanned out. Like, you know, it was such an experience getting the chance to meet him and, you know, being a fan of his YouTube channel and just following him for the last 2 years and knowing his story and seeing his interviews. And I support him 1000%. And I'm subscribed to his YouTube. You should go and subscribe as well. Amazing.
What you got from the channel?
History, how hard it is to be in jail, the right and wrong moves to make when you outside, how one wrong move will cost you a whole lot, to be better, to do better, a lot of stuff. You'll get a lot of stuff from his channel, you know? It's very informal. And, you know, whatever that means to you, you'll definitely take a piece with you. Like, this is a good YouTube channel, honestly.
Tell them who you want, where they can find you.
Okay, I'm Cora. You can find me at Instagram on Why Hate on Her. And, yeah.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops. Mecca Audio.
Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio.
Then we gon' do it like we gon' do it like we keep it moving like we gotta do it like
Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horning uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back